What's up, everybody? Welcome to another podcast. So today I've got a special guest, and you'll figure it out as the podcast goes. But unfortunately, there was a video issue. It wasn't his problem. I recorded it with my phone, and screen recording always messes up the syncing of audio. So it doesn't have the video. It has the audio, and it's still a great podcast, but it won't have the video. It's still good. It's still going to be great. So without further ado, here is the new podcast. What platform did you start on?
So I started sharing it on Instagram. And then Instagram was like the first year and a half just making videos.
Yeah, I've seen the video. The videos are awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, man. Yeah, I love making videos. And that was just kind of that's my personal primary form of communication.
Yeah.
And so if I'm doing something creatively and putting it out to an audience, and so I wanted to do that over writing or photography or something.
Yeah.
It was the best way for me to do it. But Instagram's got such a limitation with the 1 minute.
Yeah.
That I just have to write it all out perfectly. So all the 60 seconds.
Sometimes that's what you need. You can get what you need out in that.
It's like a tweet. Yeah. It's this encapsulated idea.
You think it through.
Yeah, which I guess leads to Twitter. Yeah, we did Instagram for a year. And then the team just started growing a little bit more. Started the Twitter. Then the Bird Brigade began. Through them, I don't know how to use Reddit really, but one of them did. So teamed up with him, and we started the subreddit. Mm-hmm. And it's just been fantastic watching people care about it.
Yeah,
and watching people hop on board and share. I think right now the Instagram floating around 87,000, and then the Twitter is around 40ish. I think it's 38. And the subreddit's at 30.
Dang.
And so honestly, I just did that because I know we started getting some posts reported, and they could just take down the entire Instagram if too many get reported, and so I just kind of wanted to plant seeds in multiple places.
Yeah, dude, that would actually kind of be dope if you got reported. I feel like that might actually carry.
Oh, it's complete censorship, dude. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I went on there's very key posts that they'll take down.
What?
Yeah,
dude, I'm telling you,
that's wild. I mean, some I get it, some I understand. One was telling people that the highest form of consciousness is lighting a bird store on fire. So I understand that one, but then there's other ones that are just that I don't get.
Yeah.
But basically, the purpose of the Twitter and the subreddit and stuff is that if one platform goes down, the entire movement doesn't go down.
Yeah, that's true. Keeping it going, dude. The website's fire too. I was looking at the website this morning. It's nice.
Thank you. Yeah. That's something we're trying to renovate. If you know anybody, let me know. But we've been There's a history portion on there specifically that I think is the most important part of the website. It's written in. There's multiple chapters of the history of Birds Aren't Real, told through some different anonymous leaders within the movement throughout the past 2 decades. It didn't start with me. I was approached by someone a few years back just because I've been posting stuff on some forums just about, for me, honestly, it started kind of as this pondering. I was looking up in the sky, just kind of questioning it. Because for me, there's a certain extent to where too many things line up, Yeah. So I got approached by someone, I can't say his name, 5 to 10 years back, who essentially just confirmed my beliefs. And after that, I took to social media because the movement had been alive.
1977?
Yeah, well, that is kind of the beginning of the murmurings of the movement. So really, it's a cause and effect. So you have the original, Operation Water the Country, where the U.S. government killed 12 billion birds across the course of 1959 through 1971. That was mainly championed by Alan Douche Wells, who was the director of the CIA at the time. And if you look in U.S. history, you can see it plays a part in a lot of major events you'll see happen throughout history, but because it began really with like the Truman administration, way back after World War II, there was this this growing message in the U.S. government that we need to keep a closer watch. World War I, that's the craziest thing ever to happen. First World War, of course. And then the Second World War, a few years after that, they're looking to not let something like that happen again. And so that's when the Truman administration started talking about, okay, well, what if we killed off all the birds? And at the same time as we're killing them off, we're leaking in drone replicas that look just like them, act just like them, but are actually purposed to surveil the citizens without their knowledge. So as the number of real birds is going down, the number of fake birds is going up. So really, the thing that a lot of people don't understand about the movement is that it comes from this deep love for real birds, this love for nature, organisms, but it is, vehemently denying the fake birds. It's trying to spread awareness. Because the movement was initially preventative in the 70s. It started happening early 50s when real stuff started taking place in the government, and that's when you start hearing some murmuring. So there's a huge team working on that. There's multiple engineers, people figuring out the technology, and so as that process takes place, there are some whispers, that start coming about. And by the late 60s, early 70s, the first accounts of the Birds Aren't Real movement. The Birds Aren't Real is initially a prophecy of sorts. It was a preventative warning to people. This may happen if we don't act now. There was an acknowledgement. There have been, whatever year it was. The message used to be, this many birds have been killed so far. If we don't stop this now, by 2001. No real birds are going to be left, So in the pre-internet era, it was very easy to censor an idea and to suppress certain messages from getting out. And that's why I think the Birds Aren't Real movement has seen its real first popularity on a mass scale, mainstream, starting with the internet age, starting with kind of this like Wild West, this new landscape of communication and how we interact with one another. That's where ideas like this are able to survive, I think. So that's why I think people have really just heard about it through me in the past couple of years, is because it's been able to poke through, finally, through targeted virality and through essentially using memes as the modern day parable. In that, memes are essentially used to communicate these deeper meanings in a shorter, relatable story that kind of serves as a bridge between, what I understand and what this communicator is trying to get me to understand.
It's a get you thinking thing, and then you start thinking more. That's how I interpret it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why you'll see a lot of memes about Birds Aren't Real. A lot of people think it is, just a joke or just a meme, but really the memes have just been used as a tool in the past 10 years to break through into that viral stream,
How many people are there, like, with you, like, directly in contact with you, as far as, all the social media?
I've got the Bird Brigade, which it's more than 50 in the U.S. now. I think we have about 60 in the group me. And we're all talking all the time. But the people that I have in my close team, like in person that I talk to, are, I would say, two people. Really just two people who remain completely anonymous.
Love that.
But yeah, they're the people who are doing all the activism gear. They're the people who are handling all that. And they're actually based in another state. So I actually don't stay in like one city for very long, because I find that often I'm tracked. So I'll go, I'll move to Tennessee, and within a day, I'm not even kidding, dude, within like 3 to 4 days, there's a nest in my front yard. They're watching me, wherever I go. And so because these nests keep popping up, I've got to keep on the move. So, I mean, I've moved 11 times in the past 3 months, different state all the time. It's brutal. It's brutal, but I think it's necessary to keep this going, To keep this going.
What would you say is the ratio of birds, of real to fake?
This is often debated. That's a great question. There's just like any belief system, there's different sections that the birds aren't real. Ideology is broken into. So there's some purists. There's some people who believe there are 0 birds in the whole world. There's some people who believe there are 0 real birds in the U.S. The reality of the situation is it was never meant for us to know in the first place, and so it's difficult to get the real numbers. I am a believer there is not a single real bird in the United States of America. There are some murmurings that the U.S. government has kept 2 birds alive, though, just for modeling purposes, just to keep a realistic organism to model drones off of as they continue to develop, get more technology to make it more realistic. And some people say that this drone that they have, a real bird, that they have available is kept at like the top of the top. Like it gets kept in a place that's so hard to reach. It's literally surrounded by security all the time. I'll go ahead and tell you. There's rumors that the last real bird is living on Donald Trump's head, because the material of his hair is that which can only be traced back to bird feathers, and that's why it looks almost inauthentic, because it's the hardest place to reach the president of the United States' head.
Fair enough. What about baby birds? Like, what about eggs?
Eggs, there are certain things, I think, that, because birds were real for eternity, they're real for the history of forever until, starting about 1959, when the initial, viruses started being spread to the birds that knocked them all out. So I think there are certain things that just need to be kept consistent with nature to make this convincing to people as it went along. If all of a sudden birds stopped having eggs, people would notice.
Yes.
That's a clear giveaway. So I think that there are certain things that the government needs to keep up with to keep it authentic. But there are certain things that they keep up with that they use to their advantage as well. I think mostly everything. Like migration, for instance, that's something that's supposedly natural, although it doesn't make much sense to me. But they use it all for drug trafficking. So migration, you have an entire species of animal that's gonna just leave its natural habitat for half of every year, go down to the drug capital of the world, stay there for a little bit, and then just come right back up. It's almost too obvious when you just think about it.
It doesn't add up. So what about farmers, like chicken farmers? Are they in on it?
Chicken farmers, a lot of these people are government operatives, actually. So a lot of chicken farmers, you can't trust them. A lot of chicken farmers in the early 2000s, early 90s, there's reports of these people going missing, actually. And then reappearing, but their wives say, he's not the same. They come back, and there is some, I'm not going to go ahead and say, if there's some sects of this belief system, of the birds are own belief system, that believe a lot of chicken farmers could be a drone-type organism as well, which then gets us into an entirely new section there. So it's really wild. The initial statement, birds aren't real, is just kind of this tip of the iceberg, and then you just get into just corruption,
Okay.
So I've never trusted a chicken farmer. I won't go near one of those places.
What about everybody's saying that, well, I'm stuck on chickens because I just think about chickens a lot.
Dude, chicken. Think about this. You can cut off a chicken's head.
And it's still alive.
It can run around for like 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I don't trust it. So people say that chickens' closest relative is dinosaurs. How?
Well, I mean, that's not the case anymore because the definition of chicken has been changed. You know, the definition of bird has been changed, as we know it now. But I mean, I think that, you know, it really just comes from, you know, you look at modern day science. They're telling you it's all this natural evolutionary process. You know, so really, I'm not even concerned with that. I'm concerned about like 1945 on. You know.
Fair
Like
enough.
everything before that is up to debate for me. You know, you're a creationist, you're evolution, whatever your thing is. You know, the main thing I care about, like my world, starts in 1946. Harry Truman, Water the Country Initiative, bird drones. You know, so yeah, that's my understanding of it.
Makes sense. Make people think.
Yeah, I think that there's way too little of that happening.
Just
I think
thinking?
people aren't thinking enough. Yeah, people. I know for me, you know, a lot of people are born and they're not taught to think about two sides of an argument. They just kind of hear what they're told from their parents. They hear what they're told from their peers, and they believe it without a second thought. You know, and you fall into this trap again and again with hearing something and not questioning your beliefs, and that just produces a lot of zombies in the world. You know, you have a lot of people just kind of going off of this basis. So I was told this when I was a child, and that means that this is the only truth. Such as statement, birds are real. You know, a statement we all heard growing up. Were we ever taught to question it? Were we ever taught to maybe deny that? Were we ever taught to look at the other side of the argument? You know, why have I only heard one argument for birds my entire life? You know, why haven't I heard any other side of that coin?
Just glossed over. Like, I was thinking back to school. Like, when did I learn about birds? And the only thing I can think of is dodo birds. And they're extinct, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the dodo is actually rumored to be coming back in drone form, and they're going to treat it like, oh, we found, you know, the dodo birds are still alive, we found them in the jungle. But here in the next 5 to 10 years, development's going to be done on those, and we'll see this it's a reawakening of that species, which is really interesting. But yeah, it's been really great seeing people take this truth and process it. You know, seeing people take our side of this, the other side of the aisle, and actually go out and go into the streets and, you know, scream it from the rooftops. You know, shout it from the streets. You know, where we're seeing rallies, we're seeing chapters opening up all across the U.S. You know, and I think we're only going to be going up from here. You know, this summer we've got plans, especially as, you know, we have 2020 coming around, where we're going to be seeing, you know, rallies all over the U.S. You know, and the Birds Aren't Real movement is going to be making an effort to just be present at every rally in 2020 to, you know, make our voices heard. You know, just like all these people are making their voices heard. I think we deserve that as well.
Makes sense. Do I got to give me a shirt? Some stickers?
I'll send you a shirt. I got it.
Please.
I got you, man. Yeah, I got you.
Rally up.
Rally up, exactly. I think you know you'll find fellow believers. I'll wear my shirt sometimes around in public on a rainy day when no drones are watching me, and I'll have people come up to me and say, you know, oh my God, I thought we just been hiding in the shadows for the past 30 years. You know, I'll have old men approach me crying, saying, I wish this were an opinion that were as accessible just to preach out in public when I was a kid. You know, this is something that, you know, in my day and age wasn't as accepted on a wide level as it is now, you know? So I think now more than ever, we should be screaming it louder than ever, because this is a message that hasn't been allowed to reach the American people or the world at all. It's been suppressed by the government for years. There's an entire movement in the 80s where they tried to get their ads on TV all the time, and it got taken down by every station. So we're actually working on recovering those right now. They're all in VHS tapes somewhere. We're trying to track them down. But hopefully we'll get a hold of one of those soon, and we can get a look at the movement of the past, because they were equally as important. They just couldn't get their message out to a wide enough audience.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, we do all this in remembrance of them.
Makes sense. Dude, I love that. Dude, I'm a fan. I'm in. Sign me up. I'm convinced.
I will. Absolutely. We've got newsletters, rallies. I'll get you a shirt, and I think together we can wake up America. We can take this country back.
Love that.
Yeah.
All right, man. I have to go. But, dude, this was good. This was good. Do you have anything you want to plug?
I would just say the Birds Aren't Real Instagram, at Birds Aren't Real. Birds Aren't Real Twitter, at Birds Aren't Real. The subreddit, r/Birds Aren't Real. Yeah. Whatever your platform is, join us.
I'll have it all linked down below. Thanks for joining. Dude, this was good. We got this fast. I was like, hey, man, trying to do a podcast? You said yes. Love that.
Here we are.
And here we are.
Streamlined.
Just like that.
Streamlined. Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me on. We'll stay in touch.
What's that?
We'll stay in touch.
Yes, for sure.
I'll get you a shirt, for sure.
Yeah. All right, man.
Yeah.
Well, it was good talking. Right. Appreciate you.
Good talking.
Good luck out there.
Thank you so much. You too. Stay woke.
Stay woke, please. All right.
Bye-bye.
Later, man. You got to respect it. If you don't respect it, get out, please. That's all I got for this podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, there's going to be stuff down linked below. If you want to go and check that out, please do. He's got some pretty fire merch. I'm excited for this shirt. So if you want to go and check out the shirts, the merch, merch and shirt, those are the same thing. Go check out the movement. Birds Aren't Real on Instagram, Twitter. Man, I'm falling apart. Dude, I'm convinced. Where am I? I don't know. You got to tell me. Birds Aren't Real, Instagram and Twitter. Subreddit, Birds Aren't Real. You got to check out the website. I think it's just birdsaren'treal.com. All linked down below. Go check it out. But yeah, that's all I got. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to comment, favorite, share, like, subscribe. Do it all be legit. If you're listening to this, go and check it out on YouTube. We got a video version. That's what I'm talking to right now. Or if you're watching this, there's an only audio version. You go and check out that down in the description. That's all I got. Do something nice, somebody. Peace out.